What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle,
And I'm Darin.
and this is the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Darin, we are officially 1 week into the Minnesota Vikings offseason, and we got some things to talk about already with our Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, we do. Got some moves happening. And yeah, it's crazy that there's no round of the playoffs. Feels like we should be there, man. But
I totally agree. It seems like it's missing a little skull action these last few games. So what are you going to do though, right?
That's right.
So, well, if you are tuning in to the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast, we are part of the Let's Skull Network. My friend Darin and I, we get together every single week and we talk about our favorite football team that gets our hopes as high as they can go and then eventually crushes them. And right now we're kind of sitting in that crush space, the Minnesota Vikings. So if you are following us on YouTube, please make sure you hit a subscribe to the video and then drop a comment there. We love when we can get some skulls in the comment section. So please do that. We are one subscriber away from 170 on YouTube, Darin.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, man. Just continuing to climb. And then if you are following us on any of the podcast platforms, that's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, please make sure follow along to our show. And then make sure you rate and review. We did get another review in this week from a rival brother. I don't know who that is, but shout out to you for taking the time to review the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. We appreciate it.
Love it.
All right, Darin, I want to jump in a little like full spectrum of our NFL playoffs going on right now. We got the Seattle Seahawks that absolutely dismantled the 49ers.
Yeah.
And at the helm of the Seattle Seahawks is former Viking quarterback Sam Darnold. What are your thoughts just going through your mind as you watch Sam Darnold out there now playing in the NFC Championship game with the team that is not the Minnesota Vikings?
Honestly, I'm happy for Sam. Like there's no love lost there. I shouldn't say that. I'm happy for Sam. He's the reality for the Vikings is we didn't want him. So for him to go somewhere that wants him, he's succeeding. I'm happy for him, for what he did for us last year. Again, I think most Vikings fans would agree. Like, we're happy for Sam.
For sure.
It's not like, a guy that like, Cousins. I don't think anyone was overly happy for, if Cousins was having this success because
a little different. Absolutely.
Chasing the money a little bit. Like, that's not what Sam did. So I'd say I'm happy for Sam. And again, that D is elite, man. Like, talk about the second coming of the Legion of Boom. So he's got 100%. A good situation there with, the weapons he's got on offense and that defense where he's allowed to make some mistakes and, it's not going to kill him. And wow, do they look like a juggernaut last night, though?
I mean, to put up 2 back-to-back games on the San Francisco 49ers, whose offense is very, very good, and to hold them to 3 points and then 6 points. I mean, you don't have to be an elite QB to have success in those games.
That's just it. And again,
you look at it.
He's not putting up gaudy stats, right? He's got what did he throw for like $120 last night? Like
they had more rushing yards than they had passing yards last night against the 49ers.
Yep. So again, for Sam, he's in a good spot. Like the Vikings certainly weren't going to do that. Our defense has been good. Like last year with Sam, our defense was good, of course, but I wouldn't say to the level that the Seahawks are right now. And then they got the run game going too, which obviously in the playoffs is huge.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you start out the game with a special teams touchdown. I mean, it doesn't get any better for you as a quarterback to be like, I didn't do anything and my team's winning. Like,
yeah. Did you see the video? Some guy like has an apartment that overlooks the stadium. They took a video of the opening kickoff. It's
no.
You should
imagine. I've seen a couple posts where people have been like, what's the view like from these, apartment suites? And they show them during the game. So I can only imagine it was pretty exciting for the Seahawks fans there. That's, I mean, if they're going to win and they're not playing the Vikings, more power to them. Good for those guys. I do think it's funny though. And I shared something on Twitter or X where it's like the Seahawks return a touchdown at the start of the game, and we made a mistake letting Sam Darnold go. And I'm like, okay, don't know how this quite equates when Sam Darnold is not even out on the field, but it is what it is.
Correlation there, but
exactly. So, and then I did want to ask you, man, about that Bills Broncos game. I don't know if you saw the end of the game there where we have an interception that could have been a catch maybe, but then the touchdown there at the end of the game was definitely like the ball did move when it hit the ground. So I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on that as far as catch or no catch.
Yeah, my opinion, I'm probably biased because I don't like the Broncos. Namely, I don't like Sean Payton.
Fair enough. No,
I thought the ball moved. I mean, again, frame by frame, the ball moves. Like I don't think there's any arguing that. Now,
yeah,
again, I find myself more and more as I watch sports and like they get the replay officials commenting like maybe I don't know all the rules like I think I do like basketball, football, but the ball moves. And I thought the NFL rule says if the ball moves, like that means loss of possession and it's a no catch. So I don't quite know what they saw or why they didn't overturn that, but it looks like it moved.
It wasn't even a question when I was listening to the broadcast. Like there wasn't even a question out there. Now, I did hear because he established 2 steps, it's kind of the Des Bryant rule, established 2 steps. It didn't matter if the ball moved. He could have flipped it to the referee there and they would have still called it a touchdown. But still, my understanding is there still has to be a finish to that catch, but I don't know.
I thought if you go to the ground, it can't move. But again, I could certainly be wrong. And it looks like, again, maybe it's just because I'm watching it frame by frame. And I heard some former official comment on Twitter today that replays have to stop slowing it down so much because when you look at something frame by frame, it does change what's happening versus watching it at full speed.
For sure. That's fair. That's a good point.
Namely, like if you look at the interception, again, if you look at it frame by frame, it's like, oh no, the guy's got the ball and he's down on the ground.
Yeah.
But if you watch it at full speed, you're like, oh, the ball's kind of moving. So
for sure.
Again, I thought it was a catch and he was down, but again, I think that's more my bias probably impeding my judgment. So
I mean, but the thing that really bummed me out was seeing Josh Allen after the game. You know, I mean, that guy is really just ridden Buffalo to the next level as far as their team goes. And to continue to continue to be the bridesmaid and not the bride is just brutal on that guy. And I don't know if you saw his post-conference interview, but man, that guy was distraught. He was emotional. And
I mean, he didn't have his best game. He turned the ball over. So I get it. And again, I'm not going to blame the refs for what happened, but like there's some big calls, no calls made at the end of the game that like, you know, every single call just seemed to go the Broncos' way. And even really in the game, this wasn't calls or anything, but they fumbled like twice and I'll get out like, so it just felt like, you know, the Bills were a little bit snake bit there, just trying, you know, and meanwhile the Broncos are turning them over. And, I think it was that catch at in overtime though, or the interception. When you see like the whole play, like there could have been pass interference on that play. Like Brandon he is grabbed.
I was really surprised with the amount that they were letting go and to call it at the end of the game there. It seemed like the refs were really letting a lot play out in as far as not making calls. And then to make those 2 calls. Now, one of those I do feel like was definitely pass interference.
The last one they called was like pass interference.
I mean, the guy was right in his face, pushed him in the chest. But the one before that was a little, I mean, there was a grab there, but the one, several plays before that, you didn't make the call. So it just seems like consistency there at the end of the game, I thought was, hey, let him play it out. Catch the ball or not catch the ball. And then to decide that at the end there was a little brutal for him. So
it's just a bummer. And again, like I get why you have to throw that last flag because it was pass interference.
Yeah, for sure.
As a fan, I'm like, that kind of sucks to like end the game like that. So
yeah. Well, let's move away from the NFL other teams than our favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings, and let's bring it home. We're a week into the to the offseason, and Jordan Addison has already got his name flashing all over social media, all over headlines. He gets arrested, charged with trespassing. So he's at a casino. Has a little run-in with the security team there, refuses to leave. But in the big scheme of things, probably minor. But for our boy Jordan Addison, this is now number 3, number 4 thing that he's having legal issues with. I'm just curious, where are you at as far as Jordan Addison goes now that he has another thing where he's doing something wrong and not kind of owning up to it as a mature wide receiver in the NFL, but still kind of playing in these immaturities?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like the immaturity part is what concerns me. Like if you look at what his actions have been, like the DUI obviously is like concerning, like because that's like just a public danger. Not that speeding isn't, but like who hasn't sped? Like I understand he was going 140. I get it. But like it's speeding. So
I've never gone 140.
But I've never had a car that could go 140.
I was just gonna say,
you know, honestly, if I had a car that could go 140, maybe I would. But
I might think about it.
Yeah. No, so that one, like that's where I look at the whole of the issues that he's faced. Like that one to me is kind of like, I don't know. Like, yeah, he's going 140, but like, who cares? Like that's kind of how I look at that. Like, and maybe people disagree and say that's too fast, but I don't know. If you speed and you're gonna yell at Jordan Addison, then it's like, well, you're kind of the problem too then. So and then this one, I mean, this one's again for me, like this is worse than the speeding, but I don't really like know the story. I'm assuming there's alcohol involved. It's 3 in the morning at a casino. Yeah, I don't know. His lawyer seems pretty confident that when the facts come out, he'll be exonerated. I don't know what that means, but I would say for Addison, I like Addison as a receiver. He struggled this year, obviously, with drops.
Yeah.
I'm okay if we can package him with something and get a different asset in return.
Yeah.
Or if we sign him to a contract, great. Or maybe because of these legal issues, we get a deal. I don't know, but I do like Jordan Addison as a receiver. But I do think it's more annoying than anything just to hear his name brought up in the news like this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, dude, you've had your second, your third chance now. You continue to find yourself in trouble. Like, either we get him some support, a mentor, a personal assistant that literally follows him around and says, don't do anything dumb today. Or we let him play out his contract and see what happens with him. At this point, I don't know if trading him would be much value to us because I don't know if any other team's going to want to take him on knowing what they know and what the NFL knows about this guy already. So I'm kind of hoping, here's my purple dope hope with Jordan Addison. I'm kind of hoping, man, this year, he just balls out, like keeps his nose clean. He balls out. We get him on his 4th year of his deal. We don't have to extend him yet. He balls out, has a career year, and then we have this conversation about what to do next season. Because right now, I don't think extending Jordan Addison is the right move for the Minnesota Vikings, especially when we have Jalen Nailor, who's emerged himself as a very prominent wide receiver number 3, if not a wide receiver number 2.
Absolutely. No, I think right now, like if things fell the way I would want them to, Naylor would be our wide receiver 2, and we package Addison up with like our 1st round pick and we move up in the draft to get something better.
For sure.
That would be my ideal situation. Again, I brought up in the past on past shows, 1st rounder plus Addison, maybe allows us to move up to a point where we can get Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. That would be ideal. Again, I don't know if that's feasible. Again, I think people see what Addison brings to the table. Like he's wide receiver 1 talent. I think he just made some really dumb mistakes off the field. And again, for us, if we do try to re-sign him, I guess my hope would be that we get a discount because of
for sure
his issues. Now, again, I don't think his representation would be doing him any favors by negotiating a discounted deal at this point. So if that's what's on the table, my guess is they'll push it to next year. But
I mean, at this point, he's got everything to prove for the Minnesota Vikings to the NFL. So for me, we get this opportunity for this guy who really it's a make or break year for him, which I kind of was hoping that would be him this year. But now that we have this situation come up, it's like, dude, you either figure it out and you ball out and we sign you to a long-term deal, or, you're walking at the end of the season with nothing to show for it. So
totally. And again, like a prove it year is great because, you hope to get his best. And when you look all up at the Vikings, it might be a prove it year for a lot of players, coaches across the board next year. So I think the team, it's, going to the off season right now, again, we're early, so things can happen, but it seems like for the most part, we're progressing to run it back again with what we have on the team, with maybe changes here and there, but that's kind of seems like the direction we're headed, at least right now.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the coaching changes, number one, that are going on around the NFL. I just heard that, well, we know Harbaugh is going to the Giants.
I was
I
going
heard
to the Giants
yesterday that Stefanski's going to be with the Falcons.
Yep.
I've heard rumors that McDaniel is possibly the Ravens. Not 100% on that, but I've just kind of heard that.
Yeah, nothing else is for sure yet. I really don't know. And again, Flores' name, I would say, has died down a little bit in terms of the head coach talk. So again,
to me with Brian Flores, and I think we can move on to that conversation about Brian Flores, is like he's had these interviews already and nothing's been said.
Yep.
So any other coaching decision where the interview happened and then they're on to their next has been announced. So like Stefanski interviewed last week, and Saturday they're making an announcement. Harbaugh, I don't even know if he had to interview. I think the Giants were like, the job is yours if you want it, dude. Because literally the next day, as soon as he was out the door from Baltimore, he was hired as a Giants coach. So I'm getting more and more hopeful, where I was like probably 60-40. What's Flores going to do? I thought he was going to stay in Minnesota, would be the 60 and then the 40 leave. Yeah. I'm more like on the 80-20 now, where I really think the fact that we haven't heard anything with Brian Flores leads me to believe that he's honestly considering staying with the Minnesota Vikings for another year.
Yeah, and that's my hope as well. Again, I think Flo's great. If he gets a head coach job, I'll be happy for him. But the talk was like he fits really well with certain teams. Like the Steelers is one, but now I'm hearing Mike McCarthy might be the favorite.
Mike McCarthy,
just being like from Pittsburgh. I know he coached before he went to the Packers, etc. Vegas is the other one. I haven't heard really any news coming out of Vegas right now, so I don't know like if they're just waiting. I don't know what they'd be waiting for. And I know like the way like these coaching cycles typically work is like the favorite candidates, like your John Harbaugh's, everyone kind of waits to see what he does, and then you'll start reacting after he takes his job. So I think we'll see more of these positions being filled over the next week or two, just with some of these other jobs being filled by the most sought after candidates.
Yeah, very true.
Start to see the rest of them kind of filter out. But when you look at Flores, I know he's still interviewing for DC positions across the board. I think he went to Washington. Obviously, Dallas has made a lot of people wanting him. And for him, like I think it behooves him to wait as long as he needs to. Like, there's no rush. Like, I mean, for him, it's like wait till the best offer, and if nothing else, like leverage that offer to the Vikings and say, hey, like,
especially on the defensive coordinator's position, which really kind of surprises me that he's taking these interviews. And maybe it's just like, hey, I need to get some practice on interviewing. So I'm going to take a couple of these. But to me, it's like it took you 2 years to really get the Minnesota Vikings to buy into your offensive scheme and your offensive system. So you're wanting to go somewhere else and take another 2 years to set that up when it's already apparent and established in the Vikings locker room and in the Vikings scheme. So I don't see him thinking outside of Minnesota for defensive coordinator. But I have not heard much from Vegas. My only thing about Pittsburgh, the Steelers, is like the Steelers don't have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is out. They made the playoffs, so their draft pick is going to be in the 20s. And really, the idea of coming in somewhere and winning right now, I feel like that was Baltimore. But Baltimore, it doesn't seem like he had his interview and they didn't make any sort of announcement after that. So I don't know. I thought Baltimore would be the place where Flores would end up if he left Minnesota. And it doesn't seem like that's yet the case. So I don't know. I'm just getting more and more hopeful that we're going to get him in another year in Minnesota. The Wilfs will give him his money, give him his compensation, but that he's going to lead our defense, and which I think would be the best thing for us moving into next season.
100%. Bringing him back would be just a huge start to the offseason. And again, when you look at the Washington defensive coordinator, why would he go there? Like Dan Quinn's a defensive-minded head coach. Like,
makes no sense.
Doesn't really make sense that for all intents and purposes, the defensive head coach in Minnesota.
Yeah,
everyone knows that. Why would you go somewhere with less responsibility? And then Dallas, like, they just have worse players. So, like, why would you go to Dallas and try to take a defense with worse players? And again, like, I know he'd improve their D, like, just seeing what he did here. But I agree with you. I think, like, he's kind of handpicked a lot of the guys that are on the D in Minnesota right now. So, seems like, especially if he has a lot of say into, like, the draft this year, seems like he's in a good spot here. But
for sure.
We'll see.
Well, we did lose our, I don't know if you saw, we did lose our O-line coach, did not renew him. So he is now out. So the Minnesota Vikings will be looking for a new O-line coach, which I did see Darisaw kind of subtweeted or sub-posted a little bit on Instagram with a question mark on it. But I mean, let's be real. Our offensive line was offensive. Like we were 32nd or 31st this year.
Pass blocking.
So like we have to do something at that point. Like you cannot expect, like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Like to me, it would be insane to not at least change some things this season going into next. And I think that's a simple start of like, we got to get somebody in there for the offensive line.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like he might be falling on the sword for what happened along the offensive line. I know there are injuries and all that, which doesn't help, but like the reality was the performance across the board was pretty bad. So,
yeah,
I mean, someone's got to pay the price for that. So,
yeah.
Just as what it is. Yeah, I'm sure Darisaw liked him, and who doesn't like their position coach, right?
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
Position coaches, so probably sucks for those guys to hear that he was fired, but or not renewed. But
yeah,
you know, I think everyone kind of understands the way the business works at the end of the day too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to take a minute just to like think about the Vikings NFL season this past year, and I just want you to like look back in like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, like what was like something in your mind that sticks out as like a highlight from this season? I know we have a lot of lowlights as Vikings fans from this past year, but as you think back, what was a moment that you're going to be like, okay, that was a moment where I was super excited, super hyped about being a Minnesota Vikings fan?
I mean, week one is the obvious choice. Week one, fourth quarter, man, like that was insane. Everyone was hyped after that. Like we thought we were going to the Super Bowl after week one, man. Like that was crazy. But
yeah. To me, that's the one that really stuck out in my mind. And I think like as I look through kind of our Purple Dopes with Hope's journey, podcast journey, that when we recorded that episode, there was a different energy from both of us as far as like what the possibilities were for this team. Being down 21 going into the fourth quarter, and JJ McCarthy turns it on, and we ended up beating the Bears at Soldier. And I think for you and I both, like that episode, I think is still one of our most downloaded episodes, downloaded podcasts.
Yeah.
But I think like it's like TJ was saying last week when we did our straight skull with TJ Theron, he's like, it's tough sometimes to be a Vikings fan and like build on momentum when there's not a lot of momentum to build on.
Yeah.
But for us, I just felt like that was like, okay, we started this podcast. Vikings start the season with an amazing comeback. Like this is the year for us to really do something. And then of course we all know what happens, but such an exciting moment, an exciting day after as a Vikings fan, that game.
Yeah, that was one of those you catch all the radio stations and TV. Everyone's talking about the Vikings. It was great. Yeah, it was fun. It's really like funny when you look through the schedule, like especially the start of the year, how up and it was though. It's like Bears super high, and then you got Falcons where we just felt so defeated.
Yeah.
And the week after it's the Bengals, where you got the Isaiah Rodgers game, right? We're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then you blow it against the Steelers. Then you have the last second against the Browns. Talk about a roller coaster those first 5 weeks. Just
and the Steelers and then the Browns, and then we're headed into the bye, and we don't know what's happening with quarterback situation. Yeah. It was such an up and down way to start the year, and then we went on that terrible streak of losses that I think kind of defeated all of us. But there were some moments worth remembering, I think, from this year, and hopefully as we look forward into next year, we'll be able to kind of hold on to a few of those as we start the year.
Yeah, and that's really the key, right? To keep stay excited and just remember the good times, because there were some good games. For as bad a quarterback plays we had this year, there were good games. Like that first Detroit game with JJ at the helm, like that was great.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
So good.
Yeah. Fourth down, was it 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3?
It was 3rd and 3 where he throws that dime to Naylor to seal the
game. I mean, that was so, what a cool time. What a cool moment. That was in Detroit. JJ McCarthy. Yeah, so cool. Yeah. Well, let's hope we can just build on that as we move into the off season and move into next season. Who knows what really the future holds? We don't. I mean, we're just, podcasters, Vikings fans, who just kind of just pick and choose what we think is going to happen and not going to happen. But in the end,
Right.
You don't know until next season starts. So
yeah, 100%, man.
all right, man. Well, we always bring the hopes with the Purple Dopes. So our Purple Dope Hope segment is sponsored by 612Tees, great Minnesota-based apparel company. Use Purple Dopes 25, all one word. Get yourself 25% off. Week 1, postseason or off season, postseason for some. What hopes are you bringing this week, Darin, for our Minnesota Vikings and our Minnesota Vikings fan base?
Yeah, I'm bringing it back to flow, man. My hopes right now are that the interview cycle, like I said, it's going to heat up here in the next week or two with the dominoes starting to fall. And I hope that we get the good news we're all hoping for, and that Flores is back as defensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely. Well, my hope this week is for all Minnesota Vikings fans. I am hopeful we can get off the focus right now, which is that Sam Darnold is not our quarterback, and get on the hope train of next season is coming and it's going to be different at the quarterback position for the Minnesota Vikings. Is that JJ McCarthy? I am hopeful it is. But I'm also hopeful that our team, our organization, our leadership in our organization is going to look at every possible available position player for the quarterback spot to bring in the right guy to lead this team. So Vikings fans of Vikings social media, let's be happy for Sam, right? He's having success. We can be happy for Sam, but we can also be hopeful of what we've been waiting for, which is a franchise quarterback who can step in and lead this team to the promised land. So that's the hopes that I'm bringing today.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, all right, man. Well, we want to finish out this week with another one of our little Purple Dope segment. This one is going to be top 5. So what I have the last 5 Vikings postseason appearances for you, Darin, and I want you to rank them with your favorite team down to your least favorite team. Now we know they're all our favorites, but when you look at it, which team were you really like, this is a team that I want to see win, or I thought could win it all? So here are your last 5 appearances. We got the 2015 team, which of course we know Blair Walsh missed the field goal against the Seahawks. Sorry for bringing that up, Purple Dope fans. We also have the 2017 Minneapolis Miracle, 2019, which is when we walked off against the Saints and then got blown out by the Niners. Then we have the 2022 Giants loss, which of course we know we love that one because it birthed the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. And then we have last year's loss to the Rams. So where would you rank those, Darin? One being your favorite, 5 being your least favorite.
Favorite team?
Favorite team, yeah.
I'm going to go number 1. I think I'm going to go the Miracle team. And again, it just felt like destiny. Like it just really did. That team didn't have a lot of weaknesses, like outside of that quarterback position. Like the defense was good, not like elite, but like really, really good. Like,
and they made plays when they mattered.
I mean, I think they're the top defense that year, and I'm saying not elite in terms of like historic defenses, but they're I think number 1 scoring defense that year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just felt like Keenum was always playing well enough. So yeah, just a super fun season. And yeah, just probably my favorite one. Number 2, I'm gonna go 2015, and that one's hard because we just don't. They were so young, and we just don't know what could have been. Like it was just like this baby of a team where it's like, wow, like won the division, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna take down the Seahawks, who were like just an epic team at that point. And then we blow it, and it's just what could have been. Like I don't know, like it just would have been so fun to see them move on and see what they could have done in the divisional round there that year.
I'm still a believer that if we win that game, that is a Super Bowl run for that team, because the next team up was the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Who we all know the Denver Broncos absolutely dismantled them in the Super Bowl with a good defense. And that defense was elite. I mean, those guys were young and hungry. They didn't know any better other than to just play to just play good football. And I still think if we beat the Seahawks there, that team definitely has a shot of making the Super Bowl, if not winning the Super Bowl against the Broncos, which would have been another just powerhouse defense. So it would have been a fun run to make, but of course we know Blair Walsh just didn't.
Cursed us. But number 3, I'm gonna go last year's team. Not again, just the way the season went, the turnaround for Darnold. Obviously, coming into the playoffs off that loss to Detroit, you kind of had like a bad taste in your mouth. But I still felt really good about going up against the Rams.
Sure.
I thought we were the better team.
Mm.
And then it all just kind of imploded. But yeah, it was just a really, really fun team.
For
and
sure.
Felt like it, should have been more. But
definitely felt with that one, like that season should have kept going.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like it just seemed like the way it ended, the way everything went down with the Lions and then the Rams, it just seemed like it wasn't right to end that way. I felt like it should have had a better ending, even if it would have been a loss. I think we deserved a better ending for that. The way that team kind of came together, rallied. Sam Darnold, this journeyman, comes, leads us. I think we deserved a better ending with that season, but we got what we got.
Yeah, 100%. Number 4, I'm going to go the year 1 of Kevin O'Connell.
Okay.
Again, just that was the cardiac kids that year, man. Like every win was just, a comeback or
just somehow found a way every single game
to win or barely hanging on to a win. Like it just was like every single week you're biting your nails and we're still pulling them off. So just like, as stressful as it was such a fun year. Look at like we had that Bills game and
oh yes,
that first Giants game, with kicking the 60-yarder to win it. Like just,
and then didn't we have the Broncos game where we were down like 19 in the third quarter of that game as well?
That was the 2019 season.
Actually. Oh, 2019. Okay, yes,
that was
the Colts game.
Colts are up 33-0 maybe.
Yeah, the largest comeback in NFL history. Yeah.
Yeah, so number 5, I'm going to go the 2019 team, mainly because not that wasn't a fun year. Like anytime you're in the playoffs is great, but I just never felt like that team was good enough to do anything. We had the Stephon Diggs issues kind of following in the locker room, kind of following us all year. Where he basically, I know he had like some issue. Then he went out and I think scored 3 touchdowns against the Eagles. He had a massive, the Broncos comeback was great. He had a couple of touchdowns that game too. So
yeah,
but I know we had some injuries. I think Thielen was out a little bit of that season, even though he had that nice catch against the Saints to kind of set us up at the end of that one in the playoffs. But I just, of the 5, I'd say that was my least favorite, just because it never felt like when we played San Fran, it didn't feel like we were going to go in and beat San Francisco.
For sure. Yeah. I am gonna just agree with everything that you said, except I did have a little bit different order. So I flip-flopped so I went miracle season.
Yep.
And then I went last year's season and then 2015 Seahawks. And I think the only reason that I really would flip that is just like the emotional investment of last year was like, so I was just hooked all season long with this Sam Darnold story.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Keenum story. I feel like that 2015 team, like we didn't know what we had until like we won the division and we're in the playoffs. I still think, like I said, that team could have made a run at the Super Bowl. But last year was so much fun with that Sam Darnold coming in as this journeyman. JJ McCarthy's supposed to be the guy. He goes out. We're basically like, this season's a wash. Yeah. And then they just kept winning. And so it was just such a fun year. But like I said, the only thing that leaves a sour taste is just I needed a better ending. Yeah. And that didn't mean I needed a Super Bowl ending, but I just needed a better ending for Sam Darnold and that offense to go back-to-back games of just basically, looking like squadouche out there and then finishing the year on a blowout loss to the Rams. It just, I don't know.
Should have beat the Rams, and then we go to Philly and we lose like a shootout in the snow in Philly. Okay,
for sure,
but yeah, no,
agree. That would have left a little better taste in my mouth, and maybe even would have leapfrogged the Miracle a little bit. But I don't know. It's hard to look back on the Miracle and not think we didn't deserve to go to the Super Bowl that season.
Of Vikings fandom for sure.
Just too much. Too much happened for the goodness of the fandom there for us not to end up being in the Super Bowl for that season. But what are you going to do? All right, Vikings fans, we appreciate you guys. Continue to tune on with the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Purple Dopes with Hopes. Get us to 170. Why not? And then, of course, if you could follow along with the show on any of the podcast platforms. And then, of course, drop a rating and review. Still 5.0, still piling up those reviews every single week. So super awesome. Darin, we're going to be kind of like, doing some straight skull talk with some different Vikings content creators as the off season wears on. But of course, we're going to be coming back every single week, bringing you something from the Purple Dopes, whether that be a conversation with another Vikings fan or just us giving our takes on what the Vikings are doing and what we're seeing. So should be pretty fun.
Yeah. Gonna be a good off season. Look forward to it.
Yeah. We're looking forward to next year already as the Purple Dopes with hopes. Right. Well, as always, friends, always remember, we skull, you skull, we all skull together. We'll catch you guys next week.
Skull.